I can feel it, everybody. It's going to be my year. And I don't necessarily mean in fantasy football. Of course, I always think it's going to be my year in fantasy football. But this year, I think I'm actually going to make the Lions starting defensive roster. I don't know. I'm just going to say it out loud. Maybe, I don't know, week 8, week 9. I'm probably going to go visit Detroit, hang out in a Kroger next to Coach's house. Maybe I'll get picked up. I figure by then they'll have at least like 14 or 15 injuries. All right, knock on wood. Detroit fan like myself, we've been there. Everybody knows the pain. I'm sorry to bring it up. It's terrible. Still could be my year. Fantasy football or starting corner for the Detroit Lions. I don't know. Anything could happen. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. It's EDFF's second season. It's our 1-year anniversary today. It's really exciting. And I thought we'd kick off this season with a quick episode. We're going to talk about some of the potential pitfalls and really bad draft decisions in the first 5 rounds. So I'm going to highlight one player from each of the first 5 rounds that I want you to avoid, whether it be injury prone or just way too much draft capital to be drafting these guys this soon. We'll go over that and a couple of other ideas before we end this episode and kick off our second season. So thanks for joining us. All right, well, we'll start with round 1. And in round 1, it's pretty easy for me. Consistently, I'm seeing Christian McCaffrey come off the board in round 1. And I have to say, his injuries are just so devastating. I just can't see spending first-round capital on Christian McCaffrey. Obviously, outstanding player, but every running back needs 2 feet, 2 knees. And Christian McCaffrey, he had to go to a foreign country to get treatment. It was that bad. So as much as I'm rooting for Christian McCaffrey, I can't see spending a first round pick on him. There's so much talent in the first round that is a lot safer. Someone who will more than likely give you 16, 17 games next season. All right, in the second round, this one's tough. I could actually go with 2 different names, but I'm going to go with Brock Bowers. And I know that's crazy. Everyone's going to say, what are you thinking? Number 1 overall tight end from next year. I think he's going to take a step back. I mean, he was on a team that had absolutely no one else. Now they have Janty. Now they have Geno Smith. I know Janty's a rookie, and I get it. Geno Smith, he's not a top 10 quarterback, but it's a heck of a lot better than they had last year. And they're going to have more opportunities to score. But Janty's going to take a lot of those touchdowns, and Bowers doesn't have to be the focus. He's not going to get 160 targets like he did last year, all right? He's probably going to get somewhere around 120, 130. He might match his touchdown production from last year, but I think he's going to drop 30, 40 points overall. That doesn't mean he's not going to finish as one of the top 3 tight ends. I think he's still going to be in the top 3. In the second round, he's coming off as the 4th or 5th pick. That's just way too high. You could get Drake London or Bucky Irving at that point. And these guys are both going to be top 10 in their category. And that's difficult because once you get past the top 10 for wide receiver and running back, there ain't a whole lot out there. Unless you're considering like a 0 running back or a 0 wide receiver strategy. Even then, I still wouldn't go after Bowers. Round 3, this one's easy. And this is the biggest bust of the draft, in my opinion. Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson was a top 10 wide receiver last year because he had Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. They basically had no running game. They found themselves behind all the time. Now, I know what you're saying. Ding. The only thing that's changed here is Rodgers is gone, and we have a quarterback that's even worse. Justin Fields. That's exactly my point. It's Justin Fields. And Justin Fields cannot read a defense. He looks at his first read, and then he's gone. He takes off running. And everyone's going to point to, well, in Pittsburgh, he had 6 wins in a row. Yeah, and he barely threw the ball. That's why Pickens didn't get any love. None of the wide receivers in Pittsburgh flourished because of Justin Fields. And now he's on the Jets, and they don't really have a backup that's worthy. So Garrett Wilson, he's going to drop, and he's going to drop hard. He's not going to be in the top 15 wide receivers. He might not even be in the top 20. Moving on, round 4. In round 4, this one's easy, and it's Rashee Rice. And it's not because he's not a talented player with a talented quarterback. It's because he's probably going to be in jail, at least for the first couple of games, or suspended at best. He already has a soft tissue injury. Between those 2 things, I'm looking at a guy who's probably not going to produce for at least 6 or 7 weeks in the season. And I feel pretty confident about saying that. And if that's the case, I'm not dropping my fourth round pick on some guy who's going to give me potentially 7, 8 weeks of a season. I need that fourth round pick. And when you look at who's going in the fourth round, I mean, McLaurin, Kittle, if you need a tight end, Hubbard, Kamara, who was a top 9 running back last year and will probably be in the top 10 again based on the fact that he gets 82 pass attempts. I mean, honestly, this is not the place to go get Rashee Rice. All right, and the last guy we're going to talk about in the 5th round, I feel bad for the kid, but it's Travion Henderson. Travion goes to New England, a team that has absolutely no idea what to do with running backs. You heard me say it time and time again last year, and the same doggone thing is going to happen this year. This kid is going to be in a 3-way split, and he's barely going to get 100 touches. He's going to be really talented, but the coaching staff, they're just not talented enough to recognize that this kid needs to be given the ball. And until maybe some sort of big injury occurs, he's not going to be anything but the number 2 running back coming off the board. And because it's our 1-year anniversary, I'll give you a bonus round 6. And it's basically half the round. I mean, if you look at the names that are coming off of round 6, I can't even believe it. You got Godwin, who had his ankle reconstructed. Olave, again, coming off of a big injury. He's got no quarterback to throw to him, and Kamara commands everything. Swift out of Chicago, are you kidding me? Picking anything out of Chicago, and I don't care if they have a new coach. Honestly, that's just a mistake. And on that same breath, Adunzi, same thing. Talented kid, if you were on another team, he'd probably be good. Johnson, Pittsburgh's backup running back, he's coming off in the 6th round. I mean, Warren is still there. He's not going anywhere. I mean, that's half the round for crying out loud. These guys are either going to produce at like an RB3, RB4 level or a wide receiver 4 level, or they may not even play for the rest of the season. I mean, there's so much to avoid in round 6. If you think you're reaching in round 6 to go get like Kelsey or maybe Hawkinson or Pollard or Addison. I mean, Addison, even with like a 3-game suspension, is going to outperform half of round 6. So round 6 right now is just shaping up to be a terrible round. I would just go ahead and look at round 7 guys that are normally coming off in their ADP. They're all going to outperform half the guys in round 6. And that'll do it for my preseason train wrecks for the first 5 rounds of the draft for this year. If you agreed with me, let me know in the comments. If you didn't agree and you thought I was crazy, let me know in the comments. If you got a dad joke, put it in there. I love that too. And before we go, I want to give a shout out to the men and women in uniform who protect the freedoms that we hold dear. Thank you for your service and sacrifice. You guys are awesome. And thanks for listening to this podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and follow us on X, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts so you can stay up to date on our latest content. And until then, remember, established dominance isn't just a catchphrase, it's a commitment. Are you ready?